Good morning. First video of 2024. It's snowing outside and it's frosty. So I'm all bundled up and the solar flares just keep tapping me in the shoulder. Tap, tap. We got to talk about this. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the symptoms of the solar flare um, video is way up at 5,800 at this point. So, and I'm still getting comments. So the symptoms are catching attention. And I wanted to continue with that, of course, and also talk about the symptoms that no one talks about. The things that we are challenged with on a daily basis that we don't talk about, we don't really want anybody to know. And I thought I would just go through those, right? Because there's fears. We think we're crazy. We think we're dying. We are worried. And there's pieces of this that make sense. So I got up this morning and these things just flowed out of me. I think I wrote this entire list in about 8 minutes. It's pretty interesting because these are the conversations I'm having with my coaching clients, with my friends, with my co-collaborators, right? On what are you seeing with these solar flares and what's really going on? So these are all instances of something that was shared with me just in the last week, right? Just in the last week. Okay. So the first thing is that when the flares come up, it stirs our sort of spidey sense like, "Ooh, something's wrong. Something's wrong. We need to be afraid. Something's wrong." And so then we look at our health. We look at, "Oh my God, I'm sick. Am I dying? Did I get cancer?" Blah. We put that out there. I have heart palpitations. I don't know what to do with that. I think I'm having a heart attack. I've got sore spots on my body that move. I've got a sore shoulder. And we've talked about this over the last weeks. Muscles, joints, they ache and they don't leave. I had a left hip that started about 18 months ago. And no matter what I did, it wouldn't release. It wouldn't go away until I dealt with it emotionally. It was really interesting. Um, Parts of us that aren't working. Let's talk about digestion, bowels, acid stomach, unpredictable bowel symptoms. Whatever is happening, right? We're jumping to the conclusion that there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Oh no, there's something wrong. So the fears might be physical. The fears might be physical, like, what if I can't pay for this house? What if I lose my job? What if the banks don't work? Blah, 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 right? So there's actual health issues also going on, which is sometimes because we've been holding on to so much crap, we are getting sick. And it's time to do something to heal those, right? We are also seeing a lot of predominant leaders in our culture, our relatives, even people close to us deciding to tap out and pass. So this is real. This is a real symptom. Like, these are real symptoms in the sense that um these are profoundly different changes than what we've experienced over the last 5 to 10 years. That's the way I would put this, right? So here are some of the things that came up through my clients. I've got my list right in front of me. So there's this listlessness, right? Impatience, lack of interest, blah. People, places, and things. Nothing that I used to do anymore really even matters. I get tickets to a concert. I don't really want to go. I get there and I want to leave. Um, Events, gatherings. I've heard stories about what the holidays were like, whether it was what you were gathering for in December, in the US here, gathering for Thanksgiving, that it was sounded like it was kind of fun. There was some reluctance to go. Once you got there, here we go. So there wasn't that joy that we usually have, right? Um, Second symptom that no one talks about is that quick decisions are happening rapidly, like end of jobs, end of marriages, deciding to sell the house, putting it on the market, and someone buys it. So this is when action jumps in and says, on track, you're ready to go. Get out of the marriage, get out of the job. Don't live there anymore. Get out of the financial pressures, whatever that is. Can also be the flip side, which is you start to think about something and then it shows up. Like, I manifested, maybe I needed a place to live, and this house jumped up. And when I went over to talk about them, they already were wanting me to live there. It wasn't like an interview, didn't have to. I was moving in within 3 days. I've been in this house for 2 weeks, excuse me, 3.5 weeks now. and it's completely settled. And I'm thinking, wow, that was the most rapid move, the rapid sort of landing and starting that I've ever done. Right. So when there's redirection going on, it's happening really fast, huge redirections. And we're like, I don't generally move this fast, nor have I been tapped so hard to move. Number three, listlessness, quick decisions, one and two. Number three, old patterns are in our face. Like the things we used to do, like the wine we used to drink, the weed we used to smoke, right? The self-medicating, the numbing with Netflix. Nothing's really taking care of you the way that it used to. You can't just numb out. Food doesn't matter. A series can't really hold you, or you're watching it and you're doing something else, right? You have no real interest in it. Inactivity, shopping, secluding, isolating. I found that I used to love to read books. I have very little patience for sitting down and reading a novel, little patience for watching any great movies. It's so interesting. Like nothing satiates me. Nothing takes care of what is it I really want to do right now outside of putting these videos together, right? Okay. Um, Number four is that we're managing more. It's like the more the flares go up, the more we have on our plate, whether it's, "Yeah, man, now I gotta figure out how to hydrate more, and I gotta watch what's in my water. I gotta take all these supplements." For me, I don't really like adding new supplements or taking pills, right? So, you gotta manage it up, your magnesium, your vitamin D and K, your B complex, what else that you need to do, right? You need more sleep. How are you supposed to schedule more sleep in a busy day already? You're caring for others who are flipping out. So everything takes more of your attention and more of your time, more of your consciousness, which means it's time to do more in that area, right? Next one. There's the lack of physical stability in the 3D. So whether that, like my example is, I've got this beautiful little Subaru I've had for 11 years. It runs great. And then it started to stall. It stalled at in an intersection, and I had a conversation with it and said, "Just get me home and we'll take you up to Michael's, the auto place." And it started and it drove me home, and then it drove fine. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? I can't afford to have a car that doesn't work right now or isn't dependable, right? Money comes in, money goes. Bills, surprise bills show up. You go into the store and things that you always bought are not there, nor do they have any plan for them to be there. I'm noticing physical 3D things are frustrating. I used to love to cook, and the way that, I'll make something and it doesn't turn out the way it used to. I made a coffee cake for the holidays for my kids, and I was like, "Meh," and I love that thing. I'm afraid to figure out what it is I'm gonna start, what's gonna change in my cooking or in my interests, right? Because the physical 3D world is changing, and I'm like, "Oh, well, that doesn't work anymore." Some random things to sort of put together is that we're lonely even when we're with people. It's like the people that used to provide happiness, stimulation, distraction to us, they don't really do that because we're doing our own internal work. We feel completely different, and yet no real ideas as to why. We're unable to maintain anything in the old world that used to be of value, like collecting, reading history books, studying history, watching the political arena. You're like, I don't really want to do that anymore. Um, the lack of real sleep, the ability to go to sleep, wake up, feel rested, and feel like you have a sleep management schedule that's working for you. That's not happening anymore. So we're tired. We're resting when we can, and we're realizing that that tiredness doesn't really ever end. And there's no one really to talk to about this, because you can watch this video and you can go, "Wow, Denise is like nailing it, but who do I talk to about this? And what do I do?" So there's resentment, there's anger, there's fear, there's reluctance, there's refusal, like, "I don't want to do this." And then nothing works in front of you, right? So I think that this is the call for leadership. This is the challenge to be on it with yourself. Be conscious, be self-aware, have some knowledge, then watch your partner, watch your love relationship, watch your kids, and figure out, how do I lead through this by saying, hey, maybe things are a little different. Maybe I can't do this the same way. Because what's required for us is to have consciousness, because without consciousness, we just feel like we're managing crazy. Our teeth hurt, our headaches, we have a sore throat. There's things that aren't connecting. With consciousness, you're kind of like, oh, okay, I get why this is happening right now, and this is what I'm going to do for myself. So, two people talked a lot about this in their 2024 reports. Lee Harris did a 2024 energy report, and he talked about that there's an unstable 3D world, and our role is to focus on stability. Pam Gregory did a 2024 year in review, and noticed that because of the way the planets are and the activity, that the physiology of Earth is going to be unstable, whether it's water flow, whether it's earthquakes, whether it's shifting in the ground, right? So the theme is that there's a lack of stability, and the invitation is to create stability in your own way. So I have 6 tips for you on how to do that. And I thought, before I started the tips, is that if you want some help, if you want someone to talk to, if you want to bounce this off, this is what I'm doing. I'm coaching on 1 sessions at a time, and kind of making sure that you don't feel like you're crazy, that you're actually observing and seeing something that's happening to you, and you want to do something about it. So drop me a note if you want to do that with me. I'd love to help you out. Okay, tip number 1. Expand your observation skills and your curiosity. It helps to sort of look at it all with this new fresh eyes, and sort of start to put some pieces together that inform you, that they help you build a little bit of trust as to, okay, that happened, like with the car that I had. Okay, so my car isn't doing normal things, and when I talked with it, it responded. Huh, it's interesting. Never knew I could talk to my car and it would respond. Well, now it is. Am I crazy? Maybe, but my my mechanic just rolls his eyes at me. And at the same time, the things that are happening to the car are not normal, right? So how do you calm your nervous system down? How do you breathe and choose to participate in it and go like, well, this is interesting today. Number 2, keep your knees bent and be ready. Remember that athletic stance, that sort of like, okay, whatever comes my way, I'm ready for it, because adaptability is going to be our greatest skill set. Our ability to shift and bend and catch, or move over here or do that, is what 2024 is all about. So we read the environment, we choose, we shift, we wait, and we watch, and then we do it again. It doesn't stop. This is constant movement. So we're in constant movement. So what I'm going to say is, watch the sensitives, watch the creatives, watch the empaths, because those of us who have been in reaction to the environment for a lifetime, right? We have skills. We don't look normal from the outside because we move around a lot. We might not have a lot of money. We just don't attach to the same things, but we know how to collaborate. We know how to be self sufficient. We know how to create homes wherever we land, right? So basically, we know how to adapt. So watch the creatives, watch the sensitives, and follow them. Okay. Number 3, flip to that, is avoid the stuck old power leaders, the old guard, right? The bosses, the parents, the even, to some degree, your partner, because they may hold on to the world really tight. They may have astrological signs, they may have reasons for it, but they're going to hold on really tight. And they have benefited a lot from the old world in watching it shift. And it means that they're going to start to use some things like talk about responsibility, talk about history, talk about the role of riding it through. They're going to use shame and blame. They're going to use manipulation. They're going to power over. They may even threaten you. But the basic story is that they're ineffective, inefficient old guard, and it's time to let go. So sort of let that go out of your life. Get away from the old guard. Number 4, find new role models. Find new friends, find new collaborators, find ways to work together. I call them the tribe, you know, share what you notice, share, empower each other. Like, yeah, that's great that you saw that. What are you going to do about that? Okay, good. Now I learned something. So what you're doing is you're creating what you want, and that may be about work, that may be about schooling, unschooling, that may be about lifestyle, that may be about co-housing, that may be about changing the way that you eat. Follow that new those new role models, those new cohorts of yours that are different, right? Because this is the only way we're going to navigate through. Number 5, I believe, and that's where I'm going to put it out here. I believe that we are all masters and we were trained to be here and we chose to be here at this time. And now it has started. The world is rumbling, everything's shaking. And we kept thinking, I wonder what it's going to look like when the world changes. We're in it. The world is changing and we have the skills to do this. We have the skills. So now's the time to sort of shake off the sleep, shake off the dullness, shake off the invisibility, shake off the stubbornness, and go find your superpower. Go find the thing that you know how to do and start to lead with that. Shift into it, play with it, start to become bizarre, start to become unique, start to become effective, start to become the adept that you were here to be. And then number 6, the final one is have compassion because some are not there. Some don't wanna ever get there. Some are gonna leave before they ever get there. They're going to check out. Um, some are gonna stop everything and they're gonna go and you're gonna watch beautiful friends of yours just take off and go do something different, family members. Have compassion. This is all of us doing what we need to do right now. And when you see somebody suffering, breathe for them. When you see somebody in joy, breathe for them, right? Always have compassion. So I'll see you next week and let me know if you have any responses to this. Like, share it, pass it around. Let's get this one up into the 5,000s too. You take care. Bye bye.